How's it going? All right. All right. This is Robin Nelson with Wrestle Popcast presents Beyond the Bell. And my guest tonight is the future great wrestling heavyweight champion, Mitch Magnus.
All right.
So, Mitch, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up at, and how'd you get into the wrestling business?
Grew up right here, Hamilton, Fairfield area, bouncing back and forth. Started out just like everybody else, being a fan, attending shows, attended the company that's close to Cincinnati at the time, Heartland Wrestling. Went there, signed in, joined the train, and trained by Cody Hawk, and took it off.
So what was it like to be trained by Cody Hawk, the trainer of champions?
Very tough, very, very tough. A lot of drills, a lot of psychology. He goes, his mind is, it's expanded, let's say that.
So when you're not in the ring, what do you enjoy doing?
I'm a huge football fan, Detroit Lions, yeah, I know. But football, and pretty much wrestling. I mean, that's my life. Study wrestling, watch it, different things, different people. Got to stay up on the times, on the game.
So what's your most memorable moment of your career?
Oh, man. I don't know. There's been a lot of things. Wrestling former WWF guys, WWE guys. I don't know, just feeling like now, it's been many years, but I feel comfortable, feel like I'm, on a roll. Obviously the FGW champion, so.
All right, let's talk about tonight, your match with Darkness Worldwide.
Yeah, Darkness Worldwide, Amos, Eric Fallon, even Harley Fairfax. Here's the thing, when you get in there, you're not getting in for technical wrestling or a fight or anything else. You're scrapping. They go for the eyes, they try and break arms, they cheat any way they can. I believe Eric Fallon just last week hit me right over the head with the belt, then plants me on the belt. So my hands are full with Darkness Worldwide, but trust me, when it's all said and done, they'll see the light, and I'll still be champion.
All right. So also another question about Darkness Worldwide as well. Did they get into your head?
Getting into my head, if I'm going to be honest, it's starting, Last week, first title defense, Eric Fallon. I've known Eric Fallon for a while. We've had a few battles. So, I kind of knew what I was getting into, but I will say it's a lot different now. Barnabas Spector has got them guys on a totally different level right now. Like I say, they don't play by any rules, eyes, breaking arms, cheating any way they can. So getting in my head, I gotta, I guess, keep an open mind. But if I'm being honest, yeah, it's starting to bother me a little bit.
Since you're the champ now, where do you go from here with future great wrestling?
Hopefully this belt right here stays with me for a long time, and probably till I hang up the boots, let's say. So I don't know if there's another champion, but I ain't giving this up for a long, long time.
All right. Thank you for coming on. And everybody, this is Robin Nelson. Good night. Wrestle Popcast presents Beyond the Bell. I'm Robin Nelson, and my guest is Ryan Wild.
Let's get that correct. I am the king of the monsters, Ryan Wild.
All right. I got a question for you. I heard you're a big Motorhead fan.
I love me some Lemmy Kilmister. If anybody doesn't, they can probably get right the hell out.
Now, I also heard you like to karaoke to some Motorhead.
I give people motor headaches quite often. A couple libations, get in me, get loose, get the juice, get loud.
Can you sing a song, a little line?
No.
Why not?
Just no.
Okay.
I have. Do you see a beer in my hand, or two, or 3 or 4? I don't really drink per se, but it takes 1 or 2 to bring out the vocal animal.
All right. Tell me the story about the mask.
There's several masks. I've got 3 currently in the bag. Some in state of disrepair. I give all the credit up here to William Rockwell. I'm not sure what state he's currently based out of. I believe it's Philadelphia, PA, the last I checked. He actually has done a lot of work for the WWE and AEW and TNA. the masks you see, Mustafa Ali, Tessa Blanchard, some other people that I'll leave off the list for reasons. And Sammy Callahan, who you saw here last week. You guys didn't see it. The people that were here saw it, but they saw it. He wears stuff by Will as well.
How did you come up with Roach?
I did not come up with Roach, as much as I would love to take claim for that. Roach is a thing well above and beyond me. Roach is the Radical Organization Against Citizens and Heroes, is what the original acronym stood for, and it was a real-life supervillain troop. I don't know if you know much about the real-life supervillain scene, but it's a little wishy-washy. Friend of mine, Der Sturmer, the leader, he formed the Ohio faction of Roach, included my brother in various incarnations of himself and a few other compatriots of ours. It evolved well above and beyond what it had started when me and my brother took it, and we took it on the road as a wrestling tag team as the Radical Organization Against Champions and Heroes. Even though me and my brother aren't on speaking terms technically at the moment, we're still technically the Blue Water Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions, and we're approaching Brock Lesnar-ish numbers on that title reign, just because the promotion hasn't ran in a while. But
all right, speaking of your brother, let's talk about your brother.
No.
The big betrayal. He turned on you when the Code was around, and now he is part of Darkness Worldwide with David Barnabas Spector.
That's a tough nut to crack. See, me and my brother had both stepped into the professional wrestling industry around 13 years ago. We did it together but separate. It took about 5 or 6 years for our paths to actually cross, and we became a tag team. And the last year here at FGW, I'm not really sure. Like we drifted apart per se, but I'm guessing that money speaks louder than blood in the end. Because I really haven't had closure on that subject or any sort of answer as to why what happened, other than the closure on the casket I put him in. I thought I took care of that situation, but old Barney, who is the resident thorn in everybody's side, decided he wanted to start picking one with me, and he unearthed him, if you will. And things are not good. I mean, I would say it was an awkward Thanksgiving, but I saw him here in the ring. I didn't see him at a family get-together or something like that. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it other than I'll see him in the ring December 6th at Cold Blooded, and hopefully I'll finish this and maybe Darkness Worldwide.
Now, what about those American chops you do in the ring?
The American chop machine, as it's come to be loved and known. I've got hands of steel, and I like to apply them at maximum velocity to people's body parts, chest, face, back, whatever I can get my hand on. The idea is to inflict the maximum amount of punishment in the minimum amount of time. It's all about, smarter, not harder, as I'm getting it done faster and trying to get home. So
I would love to see you use those chops on David Barnabas Spector.
I would love to use those chops on David Barnabas Spector and each individual member of Darkness Worldwide. Stands for maybe that girl. I don't hit girls, man.
You wouldn't hit the rooster?
I did, I think, but she hit me first a lot. I mean, it's 2019, equal rights and lefts, right?
Hey, the rooster can take some hits.
I put her out in one, so I don't know.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Anytime.
Anytime, brother. This is Robin Nelson with Beyond the Bell. Ryan Wild.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Ace of spades! See, I got you.
You got
Outta
me.
here.
Have a great evening. This is Robin Nelson. Wrestle Popcast presents Beyond the Bell. And my special guest is a legend, a poet, the genius, Lanny Poffo. How's it going?
You can call me the genius, Lanny Poffo, the genius full of glory and renown, still living in the past.
Yeah, let's talk about your father, who is well known in the wrestling business, a legend, Angelo Poffo. Is there like a memorable moment that still sticks with you today with you and your father?
'Twas back in 1945 on Independence Day. The Nazis had surrendered. Japan was on its way. My dad was in the Navy. As history will tell, as he was bleeding through the mats, a world record fell. He did 6,000 sit-ups with an extra 33 to glorify our Savior who died for you and me. And Robert Ripley's feature celebrated this event. Giving credence to success is not an accident. That's always been his motto through times both good and bad. He's a real Hall of Famer and the world's greatest dad. Thank you.
So what brought you here to Future Great Wrestling?
Brian is the promoter, and I went to his comic book store in Hamilton, and we signed a lot of comic books for the wrestling fans that came in. And here we are 2 years later, and who'd have thought it would culminate to this?
Exactly. Also, when you were there at the comic shop too, you were promoting your own comic book as well.
Yes, I was, and I still am. But not today, because today was kind of special.
How special?
Well, very special. We had it's an evening with the genius. So before, we had a meet and greet, and then afterwards, during, and then here we are afterwards, and we're going to have some seminar.
I also had a memorable moment when I was a younger kid growing up in Bakersfield. I saw you wrestling over at the Bakersfield Convention Center when you were leaping, Lanny, and when you threw your Frisbee out there, I caught it.
You did?
Yes.
In California?
In California.
Before it went to hell?
Yep, before it went to hell.
Yeah, before it became a bastion of liberal mediocrity? Okay, well, you know what I was trying to do? Many years ago, when the Macho Man and the Genius were very small, my parents would take us to the matches, and we saw the fabulous Kangaroos. Al Costello, Roy Hefferman, and their manager, Wild Red Berry. They would throw boomerangs to the audience. These weren't real boomerangs, because they would kill somebody. But these were made of cardboard, and they had pictures of Roy and Al and information. And they'd throw them to the audience, and they would really soar. And I would scurry for them. Of course, Randy would hit me and I would never get you got the Frisbee, I never got the boomerang. But I always thought, wow, what a great thing, that sparks joy in the fans, and maybe one day I too could do this. So I wrote up little scrolls and threw them, but it didn't go anywhere. It didn't make it over that guardrail. So I said, if there's got to be a way I can throw something else, and I can't throw a boomerang because I'm not from Australia, it wouldn't make sense. I said, Frisbees. How about a Frisbee? And I put a poem in the Frisbee, and guess what? You remembered it for the rest of your life, because it's not always the thrill of wrestling sometimes. It's the spectacle of wrestling. How's that? To create a spectacle, and here you are, an adult, and you have this happy memory deep in there, and I'm glad I made it happen for you.
Yeah, I still have it at home, and you also signed it as well.
Wow. Something, so this gives us kind of a link. You and I have a link.
Yes, we do.
And I also have a link with Al Costello, but he's gone. So when I'm gone, you'll still think of me, won't you?
Yes, I will.
And then I will live on in your memories.
Nice. This is Robin Nelson, genius, Lanny Poffo, Wrestle Popcast, Beyond the Bell, and there you have it.
Ooh, yeah.
Wrestle Popcast presents Beyond the Bell, and my guest tonight is Jay West. How's it going?
It's going good. Going a lot better than it has been going, let me tell you.
All right, so who were you trained by?
I was originally trained by Sharp Boy, WCW and TNA fame, and then had the opportunity to be mentored by Les Thatcher and Cody Hawk.
All right. Do you have any memorable road trips on the road?
Yeah, actually, my first road trip was a trip to Indiana, and in the van was me, another one of Shark Boy's students, Shark himself, B.J. Whitmer, Nigel McGinnis, and Chris Canyon, rest his soul. That was a very educational trip, to say the least. Had a chance to talk with each one of them and just hear how they were talking, some of the stuff that they were talking about their experiences in wrestling, and my mind was blown. So that's going to be a hard one to top.
I bet it is as well.
Right.
All right. You had a match with Shea Solo tonight, and you beat him. And one thing I noticed after the match, I didn't see Jackson Breeze or Mark Magnum.
Well, and the irony of that is that when you don't have a guy like Jackson Breeze, who seems to have tunnel vision right now, and you've got a guy like Mark Magnum, who is gone from being a leader to a sad puppy dog following Jackson around everywhere, and they're not in my way, I don't seem to have an issue with anybody. A little struggle here, a little struggle there, but at the end of it, Shea knew who was in charge.
Hey, that's pretty good. And also, I know Jackson Breeze as well, and he doesn't like to be crossed, and he holds grudges as well.
Well, okay, and that's a good piece of information to know, Robin, and this isn't anything against you, but thinking back, I don't really have an idea as to what Jackson's problem with me would be, okay? If I had to really put something down on it, okay, yeah, Brian brought me in back when the code was around here, all right? Hired me in as an outside contractor to try to help swing things in their favor. And I'm not here to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty sure I did that because, lo and behold, the show that decided whether the code lived on forever or disappeared like dust in the wind, first match, Jay West, Mark Magnum, into the match, Jay West with his hand raised. I'm not saying that I was responsible, but I'm pretty sure I got the ball rolling on the code no longer being around. And if that's Jackson's problem and he's holding a grudge against that, probably should have let bygones be bygones.
And where do you go from there?
Through whoever is in my way.
All right. Thank you so much. This is Robin Nelson, Jay West. Everybody have a great night. This is Robin Nelson. Wrestle Popcast presents Beyond the Bell. And my guest is the 5 Most Wanted, Sean Casey.
Sexy Sean Casey.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Cincinnati born, first person ever trained me, Flying Brian Pillman, another Cincinnati hometown boy. Been following Pillman Jr.'s career real close right now. He's doing very well. I think he's making his son, his father proud. He's turning into the son that his dad would have wanted. And I had to toot my own horn, toot. I think I would have made Brian proud myself. Doing big things here at FGW, big things.
Do we see the title coming to you in the future?
Do you see it? Even with them glasses on, brother. You can see it. With David J by my side, Big John Murray, Psycho Shauna Reed, and Cody effing Hawk. Are you kidding me? Yes, sir.
Let's talk about your time with OVW during the Shelton Benjamin days.
Talking about the pinnacle of professional wrestling, the best of the best. When they say the cream of the crop, you got John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Dave Bautista, Shelton Benjamin. We had Big Show down there, Mark Henry. I mean, the list goes on. And that's aside from all of Danny Davis's guys, Nick Densmore, Rob Conway, The Damager. Goes on forever. Doug Basham. I mean, the greats of the great.
Let's talk about Big John Murray. He's always tagging along with you and all that. What's one of the most memorable road trip you ever had with Big John Murray?
Most memorable road trip. I mean, we've had a lot of fun, interesting times, and it's always a party on the road with us. But one of the newest, most memorable moments was, Big John's had some health issues in that, and we were had come in, I believe it was the second night that we were in town. We were in Oak Hill, West Virginia, and everything was fine. We finished the match. I slid out, went to raise my hands up. John went to raise his hands up, and he turned around and he was like, oh, boom. And then my big brother went down, and I'm like freaking out. And I got him propped up, and I'm thinking I don't want to swallow his tongue or whatever. I'm worried to death. And some goof comes by, And he's standing there, and somebody's like, call the paramedics. He's like, what's the number? 911, you idiot. My brother's dying here. Get on the phone.
Dang, at least he's okay now.
Yeah, Big John's doing good now. He's way, way, way on the come up. A lot of health issues been going on with him. I think we're past all that. He's finally got his heart situation worked out. He's did this last surgery, and nothing positive things.
Also, you're not a bad drummer as well. You play drums for Poison. Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, Big John, he claims he's the fifth Beatle of Poison, and he would be the fifth member of Poison. So that might make me the sixth then, because one night only, unbeknownst to me, Big John brings me out on stage with Poison, and Brett usually has some of the veterans come out and they do this Something to Believe in, and it's kind of like a little tribute to the vets. And I said, John, I don't know if I should be out there. He said, my dad, which we call our pops, he was there, and really important time in my life where I lost my pops, and he was held his word and did everything he told pops that he would do, and so he says, you come out on stage during that song. So I go out on stage, and I'm standing there, and everybody's in the front, and I kind of like fade to the back a little bit. I'm like, I don't know, like these are veterans, I don't want to be disrespectful. And Ricky Rocket's like, here. And I'm like, hear what? He's like, take the drumstick. This is the middle of the song. I go, okay. He goes, when I tell you start drumming, drum. So I'm like, okay. So I'm not a drummer. So I start to hit the thing. He goes, not yet. We're in the middle. The concert's packed out, 20,000 people. Whoops. He's like, okay, at the end of the song, I'll tell you. He's like, now. So there's my big claim to fame with drumming for one night with Poison.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on. This is Robin Nelson.
And sexy Sean Casey with the 5 most wanted. Throw it up! Throw it down, baby! The 5 most wanted are back. Robin Nelson, look around you. We are in the building.
Good night. This is Robin Nelson, Wrestle Popcast. Beyond the Bell, and my guest is Billy and Darkness Worldwide's David Barnabas Spector. Billy, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Tell me about your belt.
Oh man, I'm a champion. I think that I'm the people's champion. I mean, they gave it to me, and I'm really excited about it. I'm just like Ace Austin. He's the best champion. I'm the best champion right next to him. I'm so excited.
What is this crap?
It's my belt.
Garbage out of here! Come on!
Sorry.
Billy, who's your favorite wrestle boy?
Oh, my favorite wrestle boy. I really like Amos, and I really like Scary Steve, and I really like Harley Fairfax, and who else is in Darkness Worldwide? Eric Fallen. He's really cool. This thing sucks.
Billy! Knock it off! Here! There's some stupid crayons. There's a coloring book.
Okay.
Keep yourself occupied.
Sorry.
Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Oh, my favorite Ninja Turtle. I really like Leo, and I like Michelangelo, and I like Raphael, and I like Donatello.
Are you going to ask some serious questions? Because this is ridiculous.
I got one more question for you. William Wolf.
Listen, no. That person no longer exists. And you are never to say that name around Billy or yours truly, David Barnabas Spector, ever again. This is what I have to put up with every day.
I love sugar.
This is for Amos. I did this to save Amos, to protect Amos. Think about that. You're welcome.
This is Robin Nelson with Beyond the Bell. Billy.
I'm Billy. Hi, I'm Billy.
And everybody, have a great evening.
There you have it!
This is Robin Nelson, Wrestle Popcast, Beyond the Bell, and my guest is pretty little Cycle Shauna Reed. So how's it going?
Great, how's it going? No, actually, I don't care.
Let's talk about your time when you were wrestling over in England.
What about it?
What was your experience like that over there?
Well, it was amazing. It's a lot better than wrestling here. I mean, there's so much more to look at. The fans are so much nicer, so much more British. Everything's just better in England.
All right, now so let's talk about your time over to WWE. What was that like for you?
It was absolutely amazing. It's more unbelievable than anybody could ever expect. You know, I've been fortunate to be there at least about 13 times, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. There's not really anything that you can describe it as.
Yeah, you were on a live episode of SmackDown as well.
Yeah, I was on actually a few of those, Robin. Did you not pay attention?
Yeah, I did. I was just asking simple
I
questions.
was also on a Raw, Robin.
Now, let's talk about Darkness Worldwide.
What about it?
Why?
Why? Why not? Is the real question. I mean, would you join Darkness Worldwide? Actually, once again, I don't care. My decisions are my decisions, so just leave it be.
Now I'm going to ask you something really sensitive. Cody Hawk. Why did you betray him?
Betray Cody Hawk. Is that what I did?
I thought so.
So, I'm going to answer.
I'll give him one once. This is Robin Nelson, Beyond the Bell. Have a great night. And there you have it. This is Robin Nelson. Wrestle Popcast presents Beyond the Bell. And my guest tonight is the Dive Bar Daddy, Hannibal Rex. How's it going?
You know what? Going pretty good.
So what have you been up to lately?
See, well, a while ago I had a little bit of a run-in with the law, I guess you could say. You know, I had to make myself scarce for a while. You know, that all got cleared up. You know, cleared my name. You know, in that time, you know, read some books, lifted some weights, you know, got a little bigger, got a little smarter, got a little tougher. Decided time to get back into the ring. You know, it'd been a while, wanted to get right back into it. Figured, why not FGW?
So where do you go from there since you've came back to FGW? What's your whole agenda?
My agenda is to kick the ass of anyone who looks at me funny.
So who are you looking forward to go after next?
Next, see, I don't know. World is my oyster, I suppose. I mean, there's always, you know, the champ, but I have to maybe politic a little before I get up in there, you know. Hooks is a little indisposed at the moment, but, you know, I'd love to get into maybe a weapons match with him, show everyone just how tough the Dive Bar Daddy is. But like I said, you know, anyone who wants to step up to the Dive Bar Daddy, I welcome it.
This is Robin Nelson, Hannibal Rex, Beyond the Bell. Have a great evening, and there you have it. Wrestle Popcast presents Beyond the Bell. And my guest tonight is Shay Solo. I've been waiting for about 2 hours.
Not my problem.
Now, Shay, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm Shay Solo. I'm the Macchiato Mac Daddy. I'm the Friday night caramel delight. I get all the women, and I'm basically the coolest guy ever. Duh.
Okay, there's one question I'm going to ask. This may be a little sensitive.
Yeah.
I heard this in the locker room. You get very emotional.
What? I get emotional?
Yeah.
I get emotional? You know what, Robin, if that is your real name, you know, you just want to spread lies and spread rumors, and you're just full of BS. I am not emotional. I am the most well-composed man here. Jesus.
Does that affect your streak in the ring?
Does what affect my streak? What do you mean by streak?
Your losing streak?
My losing streak? You think I lose? All the times you've seen me lose has been a travesty. It's just that everyone at FGW is against Shay Solo and against the Bold and the Beautiful because we're gorgeous and we're talented.
Now, let's talk about Bold and the Beautiful.
The hottest group in FGW, we're what everybody's talking about. Every time we come to the ring, the women are losing it. Everybody cheers us because we're the very best group, not only in FGW, but let's be honest, in the world.
one more question.
Yes?
Are you the weakest link of the Bold and the Beautiful?
What did you say?
Are you the weakest link of the Bold and Beautiful?
Robin, when you walk in a bar, do women walk up to you and unzip your pants? Nah, I didn't think so. Do women message you online saying, Shay Solo, I'll get rid of my kids, I'll sell my house, I'll kill my husband just for one night with the macchiato Mac Daddy? Does that ever happen to you? No. So am I the weakest link? Am I the weakest link? Say weak one more time. Say it. Say it. That's my thought, punk. Wasting my time.
And there you have it. Wrestle Popcast presents Beyond the Bell. My guest is Logan Blackheart. How's it going?
I'm doing great.
I heard you were in the wrestling business since you were 3 years old.
I don't know if I'd say I was in the business at 3 years old, but my father certainly was about 3 or 4 years old. He got his start working behind the scenes at War Wrestling in Lima. I believe the first job he ever had was putting up chairs. And I don't know how long it was after that before he started becoming an on-screen personality. But yeah, since about 3 or 4 years old, he's always been doing it, and I've always been around it.
All right. So when you got a little bit older, what really influenced you to train to be a pro wrestler?
I think growing up around it, I was always committed, I'm going to do this. And then it was when it was my 16th birthday, my dad hit me with a dilemma. I can either get a car or I can go to wrestling training. I chose wrestling training, and I didn't get my license till 2 years later. And so he would actually and I'm about 2 hours away from where Cody trains at here in Hamilton. So he would drive 2 hours one way 2 times a week so I could train for 2 hours, 3 hours every week.
All right. So besides being in the ring as well, you go to college and you major in English.
Yeah, I majoring in English right now. I was never a good student in high school, but in college I have a 3.6 GPA, hashtag humble brag. And I'm actually going to go for a PhD in English so I can be professor.
That's awesome. And also you are thinking about doing some writing as well, like writing a comic book or maybe teaching a comic book class in college.
Yeah, I want, with my PhD, I hope to become a university
Hi, I'm
professor.
Billy.
Hi, Billy. God bless Billy.
Yeah, gotta love Billy.
But with my PhD, I hope to be a university professor and actually teaching on the subject of comic books. That's another thing I've always been around. So.
Now, I heard a story about. Tell me a little bit about the origin of Space Invader, how that came to be.
So my very first show I was ever on. Still in training, hadn't technically completed it. Cody was putting together a show, and I was going to be in a battle royal, but I was still 17, probably 16 at the time. So I wore this oversized Gene Simmons, ugly Gene Simmons mask, and a plain black singlet I got at Dunham's. It was awful. I hope there's no video of it. But at that show, I got to the back. My mask was everywhere during the match. I'm taking it off, and someone back there, I think his name was Tyler, who had retired and just come back for the show, was like, "Hey, you need that mask too big for you?" I was like, "Yeah, here." And he drew me his old gear that he was no longer using, and it was black, purple, and gold. So I got that gear, and I was told, "Come up with a gimmick. Think about the gimmick. Think about it real hard. Think of something really good," and I didn't. I did not think about it for 2 weeks. And in a spur of a moment, someone asked me, "Did you come up with a gimmick yet?" I lied. I said yes. I didn't come up with a gimmick. And they asked me, "What's the gimmick?" Space Invader. And that's how Space Invader. I like it was a sport in a moment. This isn't just based off of the colors, and it stuck.
Okay. Hey, it did. You did pretty good being Space Invader from the Atari system.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward a little bit towards, FGW as well. What decided you to hang up the Space Invader mask and become Logan Blackheart?
I really wanted something out of the mask. I wanted to be more expressive with myself facially and want to be someone closer, less of a cartoon character and more of myself turned up to 10. So with Brandon Day, he's just recently just recently left FGW. He was here, and wrestling and working with him is what inspired me to take myself to that next level.
And so what does Ripper think of that, you carrying on the Blackheart name?
Actually, he didn't know I was going to do it till like the show of. I just didn't communicate that with him. I wasn't really thinking.
Did he have that surprised look?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I was literally, the first time he knew I was going to use his name, I was literally just in the ring cutting a promo and he heard it. And it's like, oh, I guess he's using the name. But yeah, it just felt like the natural thing to do, and he's been supportive of it.
That's pretty good. So where do we see Logan Blackheart at the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020 with Future Great Wrestling?
Hopefully you'll see him pushing to the main event picture. After that match with Brandon, I really feel invigorated. I feel like I've slowly reaching a higher level than I have before, and I intend to keep pushing myself like that.
So do you see yourself getting the Future Great Wrestling Championship title because you were the first champ, longest reigning champ?
I see myself going after it. I don't know. I won't make any promises, but I'm definitely not gonna be as passive as Space Invader was.
All right. Thank you so much. This has been Beyond the Bell. Logan Blackheart, Robin Nelson. Everyone have a good night. Wrestle Popcast Beyond the Bell. This is Robin Nelson. And my guest is Logan Blackheart, Ripper Blackheart, Amos, and Pretty Little Cycle Shauna Reed. In 2 days, you guys are the two finalists in the Super Zeta Memorial Tournament for this beautiful belt. And I know each of you have a great memorable moment between you and Zeta. So, how are you guys feeling right now?
Do you want to start?
I insist. You start.
I'm feeling tense. I'm nervous. And I feel kind of like how I did training with Zeta. A little unsure. But what I've learned in training with Zeta, with Cody, and over the years is that that's no excuse. That's no excuse to stop. That's no excuse to not give 100%. That's no excuse to not push yourself as far as you can push yourself. And so I'm training harder than I've ever did for this championship match. And I'm going to wrestle harder than I've ever wrestled for this match.
You know what? Much like my companion over here, I'm also very tense, very nervous. But what this match means to me, hell, I know this match means a lot to you, but this match means everything to me. Holding that belt means everything to me. Yes, Zeta made both me and you his project, which is why we are both standing here today. Well, sitting, okay? So, this match, we've wrestled before. It's not going to be like anything in the past. We're going to go hard. We're going to fight hard. It's going to be emotional. But in the end, I'm going to be the one holding that belt.
So also, what do you think Zeta's thinking from up above?
Let's read from there, just so anyway.
Quiet! Shush! Shush!
I thought I handled it well with quiet, but whatever.
That was too polite for some people.
So just
You're too
start
nice,
with
Neri.
that question.
Okay. So what do you guys think what Zeta is thinking right now from up above?
I think he's proud. I think we both did him proud. And I think that if it wasn't me and Logan in the finals, he'd be cussing us out. Hell, he's probably cussing us out now, getting emotional. And while we're in there, I swear if I hear a whistle, Logan, I'm ducking and coming after you even harder.
I think he's cursing. I think he's cursing that you low-blowed Cody. He's cursing that you're bringing Amos with you ringside. I think he's cursing not at who you are as a wrestler, but maybe just who you are as a person.
So you want to get personal, huh? I was planning on going into that match with respect. I said that you were like my brother. I called him like my father. But you want to do low blows, Logan?
Ha! Who's talking?
Huh. Why don't you shut up over there, Mr. Clean? Since you decided to make things personal. Logan. My dear, sweet Logan. I'm gonna kick your freaking ass. For Zeta.
You'll try.
No, I'll succeed.
There you have it. This is Robin Nelson, Ripper Blockhart, Logan Blockhart, Amos, Pretty Little Cycle Shauna Reed. In 2 days, it's going to be a hard-hitting, intense match in the Super Zeta Memorial match to win that coveted title. There you have it. Such a shock. This is Robin Nelson. Wrestle Popcast presents Beyond the Bell. And my special guest is WoW superhero Amber O'Neill.
Well, what's up? What can I do for you today?
So what brought you to Future Great Wrestling?
What brought me here was an opportunity of a lifetime. First of all, I'm on tour. I am on tour promoting WoW Superheroes, which is a all-women's promotion owned by David McLean and Jeannie Buss, and I am one of the ones that's been chosen to travel the world and promote the company, and I couldn't be more proud. And I have known Cody Hawk and the people who are in charge here for 10 plus years. Cody is responsible for training John Moxley, Sami Callihan, some of the top names in the entire business. I've known Cody a really long time. And since I'm on an East Coast tour promoting the upcoming largest all-women's promotion in the entire world, I couldn't think of a better place to come showcase my skills and promote, the #1 women's wrestling company in the entire world. And I mean, I'm also one of the best in the entire world. So tonight I got to wrestle Shauna Reed, and then we had an impromptu tag match with 2 guys, and that was odd, but hey, we ended up coming out victorious. And at the end of the day, I'm here, I'm a competitor. When you're a competitor and you've been doing this as long as me, and not that I'm conceited, but I know I'm one of the best female wrestlers in the entire world. I knew that when I came here, this company has produced the top talent in the entire world, and I knew that this was the place to come showcase what I had, regardless of who I was wrestling. I knew I was gonna come out. At the end of the day, I'm more skilled than anyone here in this locker room.
So
I mean, Sami Callihan and John Moxley are not here today, but had they been, I may would have been like, oh, okay, as long as I'm not wrestling them. But this company has produced some of the top talent in the entire world, so I knew this was the place to come to promote the television company that I work for. Jeannie Buss, she spearheads in a conjunction with David McLean, Wild Superheroes, and I am on tour promoting them. And when you're on tour promoting something as big as what Jeannie and David are doing, you only go to the best of the best, in the entire world. And this company is the best of the best. So I knew that this was a place to make a pit stop.
especially you were also in Japan. You wrestled for New Japan as well as the Bullet Babe. What was it like being over in Japan, and then you had that memorable match with Maria Kanellis over there?
Being a part of the Bullet Club is probably one of the things I'm most proud of, because I was married to one of the members in the Bullet Club, but at the end of the day, it had nothing to do with that. The Bullet Club is the biggest crossover act in Japanese history. It was like the biggest thing, in my opinion, to happen since the NWO. They were the number one faction. They made the biggest crossover from Japan to America that I've ever seen in my life. If you think about it, the members of the Bullet Club were Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Gallows, Anderson, the Young Bucks, who are now Cody Rhodes, Cody Hall. It's like the talent, being part of a group, of a faction of that level of talent. And for me to be chosen to be the female in that faction, it's one of the things that I'm most proud of in my entire life. And yes, I was chosen during that time in the Bullet Club as a Bullet Babe to be the first woman to ever have a one-on-one match and against Maria Kanellis. So I pride myself on being that person. Me and Maria Kanellis were also the very first females to ever be in the very first mixed tag in New Japan. So we had a fabulous storyline. It was a husband-wife versus husband-wife storyline.
Yeah.
But I think everything's is meant to be, and I could not be more proud. Maybe it was right place, right time, but whatever the case may be, I'm very, very proud to have been chosen, selected to be part of the history that me and Maria made. We made non-stop, top-notch history in Japan. And I haven't seen anything like it since, and I think that we are legit trailblazers, and I'm very proud of it. And I'm very proud to be part of the biggest faction and the biggest crossover since the NWO. So it's just something I hold very, very dear to my heart, whatever the case may be. I'm very grateful for everyone involved. I'm very grateful to be aligned with such talent. I learned so much during that time, and I will always hold that whole experience very, very dear to my heart. I am the only woman in history I was in 2 consecutive Wrestle Kingdoms. My debut was at Wrestle Kingdom 9, and between being the only female in the world to do 2 Wrestle Kingdoms, which is a WrestleMania of New Japan, then being the first female to have a singles match with Maria, and then being the first, me and Maria being the only females that have participated in the first women's one-on-one match, and the first women to participate in the intergender tags. I just hold that very dear to my heart, because it is a very prominent moment in history, and I just couldn't be more honored to be part of it.
One more question. Amos, and do you think he's a schmuck?
You mean the movie, Dinner with Schmucks, or? I mean, I don't like to speak negatively of anyone, But I think he was kind of a wuss, if that's a better word.
Thank you so much. This is Robin Nelson, Amber O'Neill. This has been Beyond the Bell, and there you have it.
There you have it.